Welcome to the Impact Lounge. Feel the sound. Legends in the ring making moves all around. We got the fire, the heart, the stories untold. This is our moment. Watch the magic unfold. Welcome to the Impact Lounge, where we reign. Kings and queens of the ring breaking chains. We taking wrestling to a whole new height. Under bright lights, we ignite the fight. Genesis to rebellion. The crowd still chanting.
What's up, party people? It is your boy BQ. This is the Negative BQ YouTube channel, and this is your Impact Lounge Slammiversary preview and prediction show for the year 2025. Gonna go over this Slammiversary card, give you my predictions. I'm usually quite wrong on these. I predict the TNA Plus shows pretty well. It's always the pay-per-view I'm always off because I don't think like TNA does, and I'm going to try to do that this time around. I try to book from what I think fans would like to see. TNA also books for what they think fans want to see, but they book like these pay-per-views, how will the fans go home happy? Where I'm thinking of like the fans who want to see a good show, regardless of, I don't want to say regardless of who wins, but if it's a heel one match, if it's a babyface the next, whatever's like best for the storylines. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to get into this real quick. If you guys, some people have been asking me, what is the site where you can bet on TNA? And it is Bet Online. I can't use Bet Online here in Vegas, which sucks because you guys know I love sports betting. That is my life. And I cannot bet on TNA, unfortunately, but it does have five matches up. But you can bet on the World Championship match, the Knockout Championship match, the Tag Team Championship match, X Division, and Tessa Blanchard versus Indy Hartwell. So let's get into this one time for your mind. I don't think this is a super predictable show. There's a couple matches here where I'm like, yeah, I think we know who's going to win. But really looking up and down, I'm like, anyone could win these matches. So that's always a good thing. And, hopefully we get some shocking wins. I don't know, but I'm thinking this is going to be a good show. Slammiversary usually is. Slammiversary rarely fails to deliver. I think it might have been last year's that was or maybe the year before. I do remember there was a recent one. Oh, it was last year's. That's for me, okay? I think a lot of you guys really liked it. This was the Slammiversary that was in Canada. I don't remember exactly where they had to do the feel-good story for PCO. They had to put the title on Nick Nemeth, even though no one was asking for that, but they promised him a world title run. So fuck Josh Alexander's heel turn. That particular show was all about sending the crowd home happy. And again, I'm going to reiterate what I said. I think the crowd goes home happy if you book a good show that leads to compelling things storyline wise. And even if it means the bad guy wins, even if it means the bad guy wins the main event. You understand? So let's do this. There is a pre-show, and I don't remember these guys' names for the life of me, so I got to pull it up here real quick. So bear with me. I'm sorry. I got like several websites going here at the same time. So all right, so for the countdown to Slammiversary, they've got two matches on this thing. The first one features the TNA International Champion Steve Maclin.
Do the ass kicking around here.
Wait your turn, jarhead. Ah!
And for whatever reason, his tag team partners are Naked Jake.
You mind if I slip into something more comfortable?
And Mance Warner.
Outlaw Mud Show garbage wrestler.
They are taking on the team of Josh Bishop, Zilla Fatu, and Real One.
Crack is whack.
They've been doing the little Real One vignettes or whatever. It was only a matter of time, folks, till this fool ended up on TNA television. I think everybody knew that, which it's not a bad thing. He's got charisma. He's a character. I am not against him being on the show at all. He also comes from my fond memories of NXT once upon a time, so I'm okay with him showing up. I think some people were expecting that was gonna be like, oh, what's this fool doing here? He came from WWE, whatever. I'm okay with big personalities being on the show. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if something led to this tag team match on the episode. I don't know why these three, as far as Jake something, Steve Macklin, and Vance Warner, are teaming up, other than TNA saying, let's get as many people on the show as possible. I think Steve Macklin already beat these guys. So I don't know what story they're trying to tell here. I have no idea where this is going. Perhaps when I watch the episode a little bit later after this, it all makes sense to me. But I know Steve Macklin put out an open challenge and even teased AJ Styles, which I think realists knew that he was not going to answer that open challenge. But I think it is a letdown for some people to sit there and be like, hey, I'm issuing an open challenge, and you know that there's this partnership with WWE, and it ends up being a 6-man tag on the pre-show with Real One and Enzo Amore. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the winner of this match, so historically with the pre-shows, the baby faces win. Because TNA thinks that's what's going to get people like rah, order the pay-per-view. Typically the baby faces win. I have a hard time seeing Steve Macklin and two heels. Well, okay, let's rewind. This is obviously not a babyface team. I think the babyface team is probably a real one. I have no idea. He might be a heel. I don't fucking know. But I'm saying babyface, send people home happy, as far as like Steve Macklin being on this team and being the champion and people behind him and people like seeing him win. I have a hard freaking time believing that these three guys are going to beat these other three, Real One, Fatu, and Bishop, making their debut, because TNA does not do one-offs for the most part, unless you're Charlie Haas and you get injured. They don't do one-offs. If they book people for this show, they're going to be at the fucking tapings as well, so I don't expect them to lose. And if this leads to these fools wrestling another triple threat and it's a garbage match, I may lose my mind. But we'll see. With this pre-show, it's going to be hosted by Gia Miller, Tommy Dreamer, and Dave LaGreca. Fucking dream team. Cringe Dave LaGreca. I'm not even going to play his Mark soundbite. I do have one for him, but I just rather just move along, and get into this other match. Because the other one that is on the pre-show features the challengers, the Inspiration.
I am iconic.
And they are taking on the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, the Elegance brand. Ash by Elegance.
Come on, Teddy. Come on, Teddy.
And Heather by Elegance.
He has an erection.
Yeah. It's all her fault.
I don't know if that soundbite played properly. On my end, it did not. But I'm not going to play it again. Anyway. So again, baby faces win on the pre-show, right? The safe money is that the Inspiration wins this match, because, as I've said, I don't think TNA can control themselves. Once they brought these girls back, you knew they were going to get immediate title shots. Last time they got it in their very first match and won. I don't think they can control themselves. I just feel like they want to put the titles back on these girls as soon as possible, because there's not the same level of desperation within the Knockouts tag team division. It's not like, okay, well, the Elegance brand has to retain the titles because we have no other teams and it's the only way to drag things out. They've got teams now. So you can take the title off anybody at any time, and there's another team you could probably get to step up. However, I do think there are going to be 3 title changes on the main card tonight. I cannot picture them changing every single title. So I am going to go against the safe money here. Again, this is one of the matches that you can bet on Bet Online. And I was trying to pull up the betting odds for it are minus 250 for the Inspiration to win, which is pretty favorable. That is saying people expect the Inspiration to win. I am going to choose the Elegance brand here. It completely defies logic, but I don't think that TNA wants to change every single title tonight. They might. Well, okay, Masha's not. We'll get to Masha. I don't expect her to lose the TNA Knockouts Championship. Let me get that out of the way. But I think there are, because there's going to be a title change regardless of who wins that match. I just think the titles are changing in all the matches. I might change my mind by the time I get to the tag team match here in a sec, but at least 3 of the 4 are changing. I just can't see this changing. I'm going to go against the safe money. I'm going to say Elegance Brand is winning this thing. There is another 6-man, this is an 8-man, tag team match on this card, which features Job State from NXT, and they are taking on the team of Matt Cardona.
It's like you don't care about this company at all.
No fucking shit, I don't care about this company. Why, this is just an ATM to me.
And the system, comprising of King of the White People, Eddie Edwards.
Ooh, I'm white.
Brian Myers.
What is she going to think when she comes in here? Oh, look, he's got a billion toys.
And Johnny Dango Curtis.
These are spirit fingers, and these are gold.
I've got some lag today. I hope these sound bites are playing properly on your end. Otherwise, it just sounds like a big jumbled mess. So this was playing out on TV. I know the system ended up on NXT. Again, I haven't seen the episode yet, but knowing what I know about TNA, when the system had a tag team match with Order 4, I think it was a 6-man tag, I am sure Dark State interfered in the match and it was a no contest. It's just how TNA books. I'm going to assume that happened, and we'll see what happens when I watch the actual episode. This one, I think, I think this one's kind of easy. I don't see why Dark State would win. The system has Yellowbone pointed this out on Twitter. They have lost 9 straight tag team matches. 9. And remember last year, or the beginning of the year, we talked about who had the most losses in TNA last year. It was Eddie Edwards. He's probably got the most losses this year too. And it's hard to believe if they're on a 9-match losing streak, including being pinned clean by Hometown Man, that they would win here. There's no way the system's losing. No way. And I know they're the the makeshift team because you throw Matt Cardona in there. He's a babyface. They're heels. I think they're trying to team Cardona and Myers back up together. And because the pre-show has a 6-man tag team match with 3 basically enemies on the same team, they're probably going to have dysfunction and lose. I can't imagine they do that twice on the card. So I'm going to say Matt Cardona and the system win this thing. We have knockouts. Let me see if that's on the betting odds. I don't think I said it was. I think it was just the tag team matches. That's correct. So we got a knockouts match. This includes Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, I don't like this. That if the Nuggets don't win this,
taking on Indy Hartwell.
How long did it take you to learn English once you got here?
It was really easy because we speak English in Australia, you fucking idiot.
So Tessa Blanchard has minus 200 odds to win this thing, which is, again, pretty favorable. This is a toughie. Tessa really cannot take a loss here, I don't think. Tessa is also much better than Indy Hartwell. Tessa's a heel, and she has somebody in her corner. But you also have to remember, TNA will repeat the match until the babyface wins the feud. It is a guarantee. It happens with every single feud. You can look at all of them and tell me I'm wrong. I'm right. So Indy Hartwell is eventually going to win this feud. There is going to be a rubber match here. And this is just the first match. So I am going to go with the betting odds, and I'm going to say Tessa Blanchard does win. I do think they want Indy Hartwell to challenge for the Knockouts Championship at Bound for Glory, because that is, again, TNA booking. So that's what I think they want to do. So Indy Hartwell has to get past Tessa Blanchard for that to happen. but I don't think it happens here. I think her wins come closer to Bound for Glory, not further. So I'm going with Tessa Blanchard here, and I think there is a very good possibility she is the winner. X Division Championship match.
The limit does not exist.
It is the TNA X Division champion and two-time grand champion Moose.
Damn you, Moose.
His opponent is Leon Slater.
Hey here, I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
The betting odds have minus 300 for Moose. Very, very, very favorable, to the point that it's not worth putting money on it because you're not really winning anything. I feel like Leon Slater has to win here. If he doesn't, I feel like they're dragging this thing out too long, because this has been a long-term story. We've known, though, a very predictable long-term story, though. We knew where this is going the entire time, but that's fine. You remember when Joe Hendry won the world title? It was like, I think they win a match too long, but they were like, hey, he's a draw. Let's stretch it out one more match. Leon Slater's not a draw, but as much as I can see them saying, hey, let's stretch it out one more pay-per-view or Impact Plus show or something like that. Ooh, that's a tough one, man. I think everyone's expecting Leon Slater to win. So he is an underdog. If you feel like Leon Slater is winning this thing, he is a plus 200 underdog, which is pretty solid money for your bet. I'm going to go Leon Slater. I'm going to go with the underdog Leon Slater here. I'm probably wrong because like I said, a lot of these titles are going to change, and there's going to be someone who doesn't win it that we think should. And that could happen here, but I just think it's time. It's probably time to get the belt off Moose. So let's go Leon Slater on this one. The match that I think everybody very, very much expects to be the match of the night is Mustafa Ali.
If you vote for me, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
Versus Cedric Alexander.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Another one, kind of hard to call. Because Ali does not lose a lot. I mean, he really doesn't lose. I think we've seen him lose twice, maybe. But Cedric Alexander losing in his debut, ooh, that's a tough one. This is much like the Tessa Blanchard and Indy Hartwell feud, okay? These guys will wrestle until Cedric Alexander wins the feud. It's not going to be a one-off. There's going to be another match. There's going to be 2 more matches, which Cedric Alexander will win. However, I think Cedric Alexander is going to win this match here. I think they're going to alternate wins. I think Cedric wins here. I think Ali wins the second one. And then they have the rubber match, shout out Zaya Brookside, that Cedric Alexander wins. This one does not have betting odds. So, oh yeah, that does. I'm sorry. It has Mustafa Ali at minus 300. Heavy, heavy favorite. So I'm going against the grain here again and going with Cedric Alexander. I'm going to be so wrong on this. I know I'm going to review this show. I'm like, man, I missed this entire thing. But I am going to go with Cedric Alexander winning here on pay-per-view. My friends, the TNA Knockout Tag Team Championships are up for grabs. This, of course, is a ladder match.
Lazy booking.
We got the TNA World Tag Team Champions, Nick Nemeth.
I've been talking to people walking here. We've been talking about next year, and I'm sitting there saying, I'm not going to be here.
And Ryan Nemeth.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
They are taking on the Hardys.
Wonderful. My name is Jeff.
and the Rascals.
In one word, would I use dope? Nope.
Oh, that's right. There's 4 teams in this because we have to have as many people as possible on the card. The other team is First Class, featuring Big Boom, AJ Francis,
Boom!
and KC Navarro.
Help! He's got a boner!
I would imagine Myron Reed is wrestling in this. He's not in the graphic, but I'm fairly certain he's wrestling in it. Do the Hardys have to wrestle in a ladder match every time the title's up for grabs? We saw one Bound for Glory last year. That's how they won. And are they going to win it again in a ladder match? Let's see what the betting odds say here. I'm not sure who I'm going to pick to win this match yet. I'm going to look at the betting odds first. The betting odds does have First Class winning. Wow. They're very, very tight odds. The Nemeths and Hardys are both plus 200. Rascals are plus 500, meaning don't put any money on the Rascals. Hardys and Nemeths at plus 200. Man, is First Class winning this match? This is interesting. It's hard to envision the Nemeths who took the titles off the Hardys. It's hard to envision them not ultimately losing the titles back to the Hardys. But there's got to be a curveball somewhere on this show, right? I'm gonna go with the betting odds. I'm gonna say First Class wins. I think they're due. Of all these teams, you know what I'm saying? We've seen Rascals championship reigns. It's whatever. Nemeths have had it for a while. I wouldn't be shocked if Nick Nemeth wasn't taking a break after this. This dude takes more breaks than Ash by Elegance. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Maybe the Hardys are even taking a break. I was going to say at this point the Hardys are winning the titles. TNA always plays it real safe when it comes to the Hardys. But it's a multi-person match, meaning the Hardys don't necessarily have to lose. I'm going to join the betting odds on this. I'm going to say First Class wins. I think they are very, very due for some kind of big win. And they can feud with the Hardys. So let's go with that. Let's go with First Class becoming the new tag team champions. That is actually shocking to me that they are the betting favorite. That's very, very shocking. TNA Knockouts World Title Match featuring the NXT. It's not a TNA Knockouts World Title match. It is a title for title, actually. Knockouts title versus the NXT Women's Championship. The NXT Women's Champion is JC Jane.
Group with George Michael.
And the TNA World Champion is Masha Slamovich. She is also known as the Director of Waste Management.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
I can't believe some of you really thought Jordan Grace was going to be in this spot, despite Indy Hartwell showing up every week on this show. They're not going to pay Indy Hartwell to show up on TNA if she's not going to wrestle the pay-per-view. Did I say Indy Hartwell or JC Jane? I'm staring at Indy Hartwell's picture, so I feel like I said that. Anyway, Trick Williams obviously won the world title from TNA. It's got to go tit for tat here. And TNA is really trying to push Masha. I have said that I don't think she is. I don't think she's going to be the star that they want her to be. Because I said on my last podcast that in my Q&A, my mailbag, I said they're pushing her very hard, but I still think there's a portion of the hardcore wrestling audience that still doesn't know who she is. So I don't think, but that doesn't stop them. They're trying to make her Jordan Grace, which I've said 100 times. JC Jane's a very beatable champion. It just makes sense here, right, that the NXT Women's Championship's coming over to TNA after Trick Williams took the TNA title. It just makes sense. It would be the ultimate cuck move if JC Jane won this thing. That would feel like the AEW partnership. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's not the case. It should be a decent match. I mean, it's probably, you know, on the Meltzer scale, 2.5 star match, but you know, it should be fine. The problem it's probably going to semi-main And I don't think it's going to be that good. It'll be okay. It'll be solid. It'll be fine. But I don't think it's like do it before the main event type of thing. Definitely not the main event. I know 2 titles are on the line, but please do not do that. So we're going to go Masha Slamovich. What does Vegas say? What does Vegas say on this one? Vegas says Masha Slamovich minus 500. Those are the same odds that it's like it's basically the same odds as like the Rascals losing the tag team match. They're as confident that the Rascals are losing as they are that Masha Slamovich is winning. So I think that one's pretty. I think it one's pretty obvious. There's no way JC Jane's beating Masha Slamovich. Please, bitch, please. And sorry, like I said, I'm going through a lot of different websites here. I'm kind of going back and forth. I think that is the it is. So the main event, it is the TNA World Champion, Trick Williams.
How about a magic trick?
His challengers are Mike Santana.
That's nasty.
And Brother Love Handles Joe Hendry. There's no way Joe Hendry's winning this thing. This flash in the pan, his moment is done. That would be the worst thing they can do. As a matter of fact, he has plus 900 odds, which is as confident as you possibly could be that someone is not winning. You would have to bet $900 to win 100. Is that right? Plus odds? Let me not do the math in my head right now. That doesn't sound right, actually. But it's no, hell no. Joe Hendry's not winning. It has negative odds, or minus odds, I should say, for Mike Santana and Trick Williams. So that means either of them could win. There's not a clear cut who's going to win, but the more favorable odds are for Mike Santana. No, I'm sorry. The more favorable odds are for Trick Williams to win this thing. Trick Williams, there's no. TNA, first of all, does not go off the air with heels winning at pay-per-views. Very, very rarely. I think, Moose, obviously, years ago when he cashed in, but it's so freaking rare. This is Mike Santana's moment. It has to be. They've been building up to this forever, and I hope that they don't say, "Oh, let's push it off to Bound for Glory." He's in his hometown. Trick Williams will get all this heat. I love heat. I love when guys get heat, but this is Mike Santana's moment. I think not putting the title on him would not be smart. We'll see. I guess there's a little bit of unpredictability in that main event. But I have to go with Mike Santana. I have to believe they're putting the belt on him here. And, as I said, he's not my favorite wrestler in the world, but he is doing, excellent work. He's got a coolness factor that Joe Hendry completely lacks. So, to me, this makes sense. Now, there's always one match on every show that is overbooked. Every show. We have 2 candidates here. The ladder match and this main event. Historically, the main event is very overbooked. If there's a garbage match on the card, that's the one that's overbooked. And the ladder match is as close to a garbage match as we have. But the main events, very often are overbooked. And this is a 3-way. So it's very, very possible. Now, what is AJ Styles' involvement going to be in this pay-per-view? I would imagine he's coming at the end. The way TNA would normally do it is he comes out to challenge the winner, meaning it would have to most likely be Trick Williams. But maybe he comes out to challenge Mike Santana, which would actually, for the TNA audience, would blow the roof off the place. But I'm not positive AJ Styles would wrestle for TNA. Unless it's like Bound for Glory. That's the only way. This isn't going to be, he's going to show up on an episode of Impact or Impact Plus and wrestle. What they say, 20,000 people subscribe to Impact Plus. Probably a quarter of those watch the show. Half, if we're being generous, as far as the TNA Plus shows. I'll say half. Let's just say half. AJ Styles is not wrestling for that. Now, granted, pay-per-views are smaller audiences too, but they're bigger deals. They just still have a spotlight on them. So I'm kind of 50-50. I feel like I don't expect AJ to actually wrestle for the company at any point, but if it did happen, versus Mike Santana would be the way to go. That would really, really sell tickets for Bound for Glory. But they might say, oh, well, he has to wrestle a heel, so it's Trick Williams. Like, I don't think anyone has interest in that. Who cares? So I do expect him to show at the end of the show, though. I expect the Santino moment. He has not really been on the show lately, but they think the people love him, so I expect him to come out at some point. And as I said, things get overbooked, so it might be a moment where there is a match that's going to be overbooked. There just always is. Maybe it involves Santino coming out and changing it. I don't know. But I feel like he's going to be on the show. Could there be any other surprises or debuts? I think there is, because that's just what they're doing now. It almost seems like every episode of NXT or episode of Impact is someone running in and showing up. So I would imagine that happens here as well. I don't think it would be a knockout. That's easy because there's more knockouts free agents out there, but feel like we'll get some kind of male surprise this show. We'll see. I say male surprise like a stripper jumping out of a cake. That's not what I mean, but I think it's going to be a dude. So that's going to do it for me, folks. I'm going to get to watching this episode of Impact and see if I can get a review done tonight. And then we'll be reviewing Slammiversary. I'm your boy BQ. I'm out. Peace.